Is everybody here? Yeah. I'd like to start this morning with a little reminder. The Holy Spirit gave me a talking to this morning. It is something that I have.
Who is he talking to, Bert or
Bert's heart?
Or your heart?
The heart. And the Holy Spirit is the
The Holy Spirit is what?
It's the heart.
Is
Right. What came very strong to me is something that happened yesterday evening. I asked Raj to sit next to me because he came all the way from Oslo to be here in this retreat for these 2 days. Yesterday, I was talking to quite a few people, and it was 10 o'clock. And he approached me close to the door, but I saw an aura around him, which I often see. And that aura was full of disappointed expectation. Right? So he came all this way because there was the need or the fulfillment of waking up to see who he is and all that. What happens often in groups like this is that we go away, oh, another retreat, oh, another this, and I'm still the same. People have gone through many, many years not waking up. I know I have. It took me a long, long time. And actually it happened in 3 successive awakenings to see the actual truth as it is. And it's very simple. So this is what I want to emphasize so that you'll never forget what you're hearing right now. Okay? When Turaj left his country to come all this way here, which is a long way, okay, he had hopes, dreams, expectations, which is the heart driving him to come. It is driving him to know the truth. But like everything else, the ego takes over. And the ego creates expectations, how the awakening should be. Now remember, nobody really awakens per se. You're already awakened. You already know the heart. But we miss what is obvious. And all you need is to see what is obvious, what is already here. It is always, oh, maybe I'll get awakened. Maybe this is going to happen. It is not even a happening. It is seeing clearly. Okay? You know, it's strange that we do not see the very miracle even of the body. Now let's talk about just the body. I was sitting with a young lady and I took her out to lunch and she said she doesn't believe in God and she doesn't see anything. And I told her, I said, you're eating now, lunch. And I said, do you know that you don't have to do anything except put it in your mouth? All digestion, all assimilation, all distribution, all elimination is done automatically. Who's doing that? Do you know that now you are breathing? You're not doing the breathing, you are breathing, you are being breathed. You know you're alive, you're being lived. Your very life itself being lived. If we begin to look at what is obvious, we begin to change. That very looking is what is necessary. But you see, we have in our nature a conditioned mind. The way we've been brought up, our tradition, and our education enforce us to think that we are separate, a separate person. This is what you need to see. You are not a separate person. You are being, playing the human role. And it's very easy to see this. Now, I'm emphasizing this, but I want to get your feeling of what you got out of this weekend. And also I want to know what it is that is holding you back. Because you will find that why don't I see what Bert is talking about? And the fact is not that you don't see, but there are so many buts, so many what ifs, so many that which is in the future, okay? That you actually choose darkness instead of light. expectations when I looked to Raj, sweetheart, I saw his disappointment because he says, oh, now I'm going back but I'm still unawakened. And there was this feeling. But you see, the disappointment that you feel is not you. It is that voice which is always there, okay, telling you you're not enough, telling you that you are limited, believing that somehow you need to learn something new. You don't even need to learn anything. You need to discover what is now, this moment. See the miracle right now. I see nothing but miracle all the time. Because it is the very nature of being, you see. And once you start seeing it, and if the voice comes and says, oh, you didn't get it, or you don't understand, or what if this happens? Do you know that the fear of truth is the greatest enemy of the ego? You see, the ego is deadly afraid. The ego is the conditioned part in you, the conditioned ego is deadly afraid if you wake up, because you go to some transformation of your thinking, transformation of looking, you know. And it's afraid of that, because that would be the death of the ego, you see. But the ego makes you afraid of its own death. So, oh my goodness, what if I awaken and I'm completely changed? How will I relate to my family? What will happen to my work? How will I live? Oh, such silly statements. And I have to address them because I know, and sometimes I see them in the thoughts. Okay? So what I'd like to do now is to hear you say your feelings about what you really feel is holding you back.
For me, it's my schedule. I have to function in mind to get my kids to school on time and to get the grocery shopping done and the chores done. And so I feel like I'm forced into society's limitations of time.
Okay, stop that. Okay, who was telling you all this? Your mind.
The mind.
Exactly.
But
You don't need time to awaken. You need to look. You can be running for the bus to catch it, and you still can look. It is the looking that is necessary. How many of you understand what I mean when I say look? That's all you need, to look. Okay? Because what is living you is this very essence, is the spirit. When we look at the universe, we see unending stars and planets and everything else. But do you know that the whole material universe is less than 1/3 of 1%? The rest is spiritual. Did you know that? The rest is space. Matter is a very small, minute portion of reality. The rest is space. Now what is space? There is no such thing as a vacuum. It is all pure awareness. It is all pure being. You don't take one step that you're not with God. With being, in other words. Pure being. So it doesn't matter what the schedule is, no matter how much you have to take care of things. This is not something that, for example, you say, well, I have to find time to meditate. Not really. You can meditate anywhere. On the bus, whenever you sit down. You just look. Okay, what else I'd like to hear? Yeah.
Well, first of all, I want to say how grateful I am you're raising this question. Because I ask myself this question. What's the barrier? Why can't I get this?
What is the barrier? Look now, what is it?
I think it's a lifelong feeling that good things will always just be beyond my reach.
That's right. This is what the conditioned mind does. It's always out there, beyond your reach. And it's always finding excuses for you in which you can say, oh, well, that's why I didn't. You see, there is no time to seeing the truth. So
There is
that,
no, what do you mean there is no time to see truth?
because every moment you're looking, every moment you're awareness. And it's a matter of bringing back awareness of awareness at the moment, and see how every moment is so perfect. Because nothing happens by chance. Did you know that?
I believe that now, I do.
Good. Okay. Now, as you begin to take this in, you begin to see that there is nothing to object to. I am. See, I want you to leave here saying, yes, I'm awake. Okay? We think of it as an explosion. Yes, there are moments when there is that sudden shift. I studied psychology for so many years, and one day I realized I don't know anything. All the answers I have are from what I've learned, but it doesn't really solve anything. Because it's a relationship thing, it was at the time. And then I went to the washroom and I cried. And I said, I don't know anything. All that I've studied is, nothing. And actually I heard a voice, because the light filled the room. And the light says, there's nothing to learn, there's nothing to know. You are here. Just look. There are no answers to life. Life is not a problem. Life is. You see? So therefore there are no answers. There's only looking at what already is. The miracle of existence. You exist. Can you think of anything more extraordinary and miraculous than that? Here we are. A baby is going to be born soon. Can't you see the miracle of that? Who's doing it? Well, you're not doing it. This is the looking, you see?
That's what I tell her, because when she's worried about this and that, I'm like, just leave it. The baby's doing its own thing.
Yes, yes. And the baby is very aware too. It chose to be born to you. So in a way, it's wonderful to know that. Yeah. Well, that's just one portion. How many miracles can we see now? Tell me yourself. Yeah.
For me, it feels selfish, so it's kind of along the same lines as you were saying that I just got a text this morning from my husband, and he's got a horrible flu, and he's texting all of this, aches and pains, and he's nauseous and everything. And right now, I'm feeling like I should not be here. I should be home taking care of him, and I'm feeling very selfish. He's recently had the loss of his father, and he's going through this grieving process. So I'm feeling that me doing this work, which I've been doing for so long, but the last couple of years has been full on with full retreats, and it feels very selfish.
Okay. First of all, you are here now, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
So be grateful that you are here. But you can pray for him.
Yes.
See, energy always reaches when there is love, sincere love.
Yes.
Okay? You see, prayer, sometimes we do not look very highly on it. But prayer is so powerful. And there is no time and space in prayer. Doesn't matter how far he is or whatever. See, that always reaches. So right now, being here, enjoy being here. So that when you go to be with him, you can tell him exactly what you just said. And he'll appreciate it. Okay? But if you feel bad for feeling bad, okay, in other words, you mull on it, you destroy not only the feeling of here, but you destroy any possibility of growing up, growing into that. Because anything that happens, nothing happens by chance. Did you know that there are no accidents in life? Really, life is intelligent. And you're taken care of. All you need to do is trust it. The reason so many things happen to people, okay, is because we don't trust life. We don't trust that we're okay no matter what happens. There is no death either. And any illness that happens is simply needed at the moment. For to look at maybe to learn to slow down or to see what is happening in your life. It takes you time so that you can lie in bed and really look at the stuff. Maybe this is what is happening to your husband now too. You see, a time for him to look. Okay? I don't know of another word to choose. Looking. What word would you choose instead of looking?
Seeing.
To be aware.
Seeing, being aware of.
Being aware,
Yeah, yeah.
Being present,
Being present.
being presence.
Maybe noticing?
Noticing. Okay. Right. Yeah. See, this is our greatest spiritual discipline. Is that looking. And that can happen anytime. Anytime. People have awakened in prison, in isolation, in being tortured. There's a lot of stories about that. The moment they've accepted the situation and they learn this is happening because it's what needs to happen in my lifetime. And they learn from it. And the moment they learn from it, it changes. There's a woman, she's a friend of mine, I forgot her name, well, we write each other. He's a teacher. She's been in a Japanese prison, and they had to sit straight and not talk at all day. You can't even lean back, you see. And a moment happened that she became completely still, and she woke up. And she saw everything so clearly. She saw very clearly because she had that moment to being empty, because either I become empty or go crazy. And she became empty, and at that moment she saw everything so clearly that when she gets tortured or because talking, every time you get beaten, every time you talk or move, even make the slightest move, you see? And she started to laugh. And they would beat her, and she looks at them with affection. And at that moment she saw clearly the whole game. And they let her go because they thought she was crazy.